All right. Maneno sasa iko karibu kwa moto. Well, thank you so much for staying with us right here on TV47 Weekend Edition. This is Say What? Sasa maneno ikifika hapa 9:30, now you know it's on. And I saw your comments, guys, and you know you guys were saying the way this show has changed your marriages. Preach. And we're so happy to hear that. So tonight, like I mentioned, we have a very interesting conversation. We're talking about singlehood, man. You know, you've looked, umesearch, unasema boy hauna upako wa relationship. Well, is it true? We have a fantastic panel tonight. It's gonna be really good. Let me move on to this camera. Let me start with the gentleman in the unagopa. Unaona hapa kuna hapa tuko wengi.
Unaona umenipanga.
Hapa leo kata kutoka bila mtu. Siangalie mtu.
Yes.
Talk to us about. Say, introduce yourself to the audience.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'm Chris Mogambi. I'm a marketer. And I've come to the show to understand from the experts, from the pastor, what we can do to live this singlehood and get into relationships.
Why are you single?
I'm single, you
brief,
know.
Very brief.
Yes, infrastructure, the government, politics, a lot of it.
The economy.
The economy, you know,
Tanzania.
Scarcity of resources, a lot of things.
A lot of things.
But I'll get help from here.
You are sitting, you see Malumeka.
Upako
utofuna upako hapo Pastor Sue. Ah, my goodness. Of course, let me skip Pastor Sue for now, and you look really good, girl.
Wow, thank you so
as
much.
always.
Yes.
All right, let me get to kwanza nianze na wageni. First tunaanza na wageni. We have Lydia Karemi. Now she is the counseling psychologist. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Apa, whether you look really nice too. Apa tunataka utupatie, you know, mentorship, unajua, na utupatie advice so that people like Chris was talking about Bill Nunge. Talk to us. Maybe you can say hi to the audience too so they can hear your voice.
Okay. Hello, viewers. I'm Lydia Karemi, a counseling psychologist and marriage and family therapist. I'm happy to be here, and I look forward to see and to share together about singlehood and the pressure that comes with it and what we can do to ensure that we get out of that pressure.
I like
or
that.
we deal and cope with it.
Already I feel like we're in the right hands. Thank you for coming. When Pastor So I think you'll be great together. It's very true.
Yes.
All right, Koi, talk to us. Why are you single, man? You're so pretty, well put together. Hey, nini nafanyika uko kwa ground?
Well, I don't believe singlehood is a bad thing.
Okay.
Because for me, it's out of choice. And for me, I believe it's not a waiting room for a relationship or a marriage.
Oh, I like that.
It's just a place where you find yourself and you want to be there, if you want to be there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I enjoy it.
I like that. Pastor Sumeskia, see waiting room, ni kama labor ward.
Yeah, see labor ward. It's very true.
What do you think about what she said? And welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much, Betty. You are the best.
Well, thank you.
This show is always at the top because of your contribution.
Thank you.
And I want to say that what they have said is very true. That being single does not mean there's nothing you lack.
Right.
Actually, that's a time now when you need to develop yourself and make sure that when you're meeting the other person, you are complete.
Yes, yes.
Remember, when we grew up our time, the Gen X, that's where I am.
Yes.
Yes, we were being told that marriage completes you, only to come into marriage and find it doesn't. If you are not complete, you remain incomplete forever.
Yes.
So
you keep saying that you have to be complete.
You must come in marriage when you are complete, emotionally, psychologically, and spiritually.
Yes, yes.
You don't come to mature in marriage. You actually build up the foundation that you had as a young person.
Okay.
And I want to speak to the people who are single and tell them, I wish I would have my ears back when I was maybe 19, 20s.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I didn't have much knowledge on what I needed to do.
Okay.
So I invested my time so much on the things of God. You get the point? There was nothing else. Nothing else could keep us busy. We didn't have internet.
Yeah, got you.
So as we majored so much on spiritual matters, we forgot about other things. And so you find somebody like me, there are a lot of courses I've done after marriage, just discovering, oh, I can be a counselor. Oh, I can be this. I can be this.
Yes,
Whereas that should have come earlier before even I got married.
Yes.
And so these people have a very good advantage, our young people, because now the world has become a global village.
Yes,
so
yes,
you're able
absolutely.
to learn a lot from other cultures,
Yes, yes.
apart from just being a Kenyan.
Yes, yes.
Like for me, because of coming from the Gema community, I think I had a lot of locality, being local. Because you're even not going out, you're not going to Nyanza, you're not going to Mombasa.
Hapo tu.
Uko tu hapo. And so even when you were looking for a husband, where did I go?
Hapo
Nje
tu.
tu.
Kwa hivyo
Because
Pastor Munene anatoka tu hapo kwa gate, nje ya gate.
Because I didn't have much exposure. You're getting
I
that.
like that.
I could throw the stone in their house and vice versa because I have not much exposure.
Okay.
But I want to thank God for our young people.
Yes.
Now they can marry Muindi, you can marry a Mzungu.
Yes,
you can marry because now it is what you want. You have a chance to make choices.
Yes.
And so I think time to be a single person is a time to do personal development.
Right.
Develop yourself in your career.
Yes.
Spiritually, you are sound. You know, psychologically, you are sound. Don't enter into marriage like way Pastor Sue entered with anger.
Okay.
So Pastor Munene had first of all to do, instead of me
sort
being a
your
wife,
anger out.
he became a therapist.
Imagine, ukampatia kazi ya Lydia.
Because anaanza kuwa therapist kwa sababu I never knew that I need to do something about the anger.
So it's not a bad thing.
No,
it's actually a good thing.
It's a good thing.
It's a good time.
It's a good thing, but you must know what are you doing.
Exactly.
You must have the do list.
Yes.
Because if you don't have the do list, you find yourself getting into marriage, and then you find you're not able to cope up because you had not developed yourself.
I like that.
Oh, yes.
Hey, the perspectives are really interesting tonight, and I'm
Yes.
glad that we're heading that direction.
Oh, yes.
So remember, even if you're at home, we'd love to hear your voice on this. We're asking you on our question of the day. We're asking you, what are some of the assumptions people make about you when they find out that you're actually single? What was manganini like? Huyu ana nyota ya mapenzi. What do they say? Share with us. We'd like to know. All right. Let me come to you, Chris. Is it the same case as Koi? Because Yana Sema, like, Mimi, I'm not in a waiting room. I am actually single because I choose to.
Yes.
For you, ni hivyo ama wewe umegonga tu mawe?
Hata yangu ni hivyo, to some extent.
Tell us.
But as she's saying, in this day and age, I think we are not looking for marriage as a goal, as an achievement.
Okay.
People are getting into marriage to relate, to learn, to grow together. So you're finding that for us, we are taking our time. We are not rushing. I think the previous years, people are getting, I think by 18, 21, there's that pressure to get married.
Yes.
But nowadays, that pressure is not there.
Yeah.
So I think for us, we are taking a sweet time, understanding ourselves, self-development, getting to understand who you are as a person, so that the other person now, you know, by the time you're getting there, you're not, she talks about trauma a lot.
Yes.
You're not projecting that trauma to the other person.
So you're saying, you're echoing what Pastor Sue is saying, that you know what, you're actually developing yourself. Lakini kumbuka kuna wale pia Pastor Sue wanakanga nje because wanataka kuonja hapa, kuonja. Si unajua pia kuna wale wa kudevelop personal, lakini kuna wale wengine.
In fact, I wanted to add something. I want to speak to my daughters because now I qualify to be that. The time to be single is not time to have toa. No.
Unachana nayo.
If there is something that messes the young people, is when you get a young man and a young woman and immediately you have toa. Because you haven't known this person. You need to know the values of this person. What do they stand for? What do they believe? Do they have, what is their concept about marriage? Like if a man tells you me marriage is a scam and he's telling you to engage for marriage.
Imagine.
Already that is a red flag. You need to understand the mentality of this person. But you find most of the times when we date for 2 weeks, 2 months.
Hata 2 weeks mrefu, sije Lydia.
Nakuta tumeingia kwa sex. And immediately you get into sex. There's no other discussion we'll discuss. You can't discuss about, you know, achieving your goals and all these other things. Tunakutana, tunatoa nguo, tunafanya toa. So at the end of the day, you get married to somebody you don't know.
Okay.
And that's what I'm finding. And like us, during our time, we were really warned never to have sex before marriage. You first of all understand this person completely. So you find most of us who followed that, somehow God was gracious to give us stable families. But those girls who started and boys who started hanging here and there, kuonja, you find they had a challenge. Because anytime you sleep with someone, they leave something in you. I tell you. And so, so you can relate with someone without sexual connection and meet in an open place. Like, thank God there are so many hotels now. During our time, there were no hotels. We would meet under the tree. You get the point, or stand by the roadside. Now, you can meet in an open place where you can communicate, chat, talk, you know, discuss and get to know who is this man, who is this girl who is getting married to me. But now when you start going to their homes to visit them, and you are the two of you, mutatoa.
Now, utosha tena nguo, vyombo.
You don't know, you start washing clothes.
You start washing clothes, washing the house.
Doing wifely
duties.
When
you should be a girl.
And you should be a girl, you should be a queen. You get that?
I like
that. I would want to say that that time when you're giving yourself, kindly, if it's possible, don't indulge yourself into sexual relationship.
Okay.
If you do that, you mess everything.
it.
The foundation is faulty. And you see this is a very strong statement. And I was telling my sons, nilikuwa nawaambia, if you can't practice, you know, chastity. If you can't practice chastity before marriage, you start having tuatua many times. When you get into marriage, these are the same women and girls who are not able to remain faithful to their husbands and wives. There's no foundation.
Okay.
You get that? That's a very strong point. And so the reason why we are told to avoid sex before marriage is because of the marriage that is coming if you are going to get into marriage. But you find most of the guys who, or girls who had a problem with, you know, fornication, you know, having sex here and there, when they also get into marriage, they are not able to stick because they are not able to have that stickability. You're not able to stay with your partner. You feel unataka kenodia, unataka nafura, unataka ngirote, unataka wambo. So at the end of the day, all this confusion now brings confusion in the singlehood. And that's why you find most of them becoming suicidal. You know, some of them getting depressed because they are heartbroken. Because walikuwa naingia kabisa na kumbe huyu mtu hakuwa serious. He was a joker.
He was a joker.
Those are things that we need to be very observant about.
Let me come to Lydia. Do you think that the singlehood thing has a negative connotation, especially in our society, such that every time, maybe now kwanza Christmas imefika, you go home, kila mtu ako like, bado hujapata mtu. Do you feel like that also gives people who are single, happily single, pressure to try and get somebody just for the sake of society?
Yes, I think that the concern regarding what the society thinks and the questions that these single people are asked when they go to shags, maybe during the Christmas, is a major concern. And it is something that comes quite often in the therapy room. Whereby people come, ladies or even young men will come and tell me, Lydia, I feel so much pressure. I have met a number of men young that have tried dating, it's not working, or maybe for other reasons, the relationship is not working. But I cannot imagine even going to things. There are people that have not gone to visit their homes for years. Because they are afraid they're going to be asked, utaolewa lini? And some of them have been requested, kama huolewi, then get a child.
That's another one.
You know?
I can see you're just almost shaking your head.
And it is happening quite a lot. Unfortunately, that pressure comes with a lot of psychological torture to the to these single people. And unfortunately, you realize that people are really struggling with mental health issues. For example, depression, generalized anxiety, and you know, sometimes it can be prolonged anxiety. Or even low self-esteem, which now pushes them to make decisions like now get married, get somebody. Anybody,
as long as they're breathing.
Yes, but the truth, Betty, is the pressure is real. At times I wonder, is it possible for me to preach? You know, and say,
you are preaching right now.
Good people, can we stop pushing people to get into relationships, to get into marriage? I don't think marriage is a means of it's of achievement, or even it shouldn't determine who you are. You know, it is not the point of your status. You know, at the end of the day, someone should find their individuality and satisfaction in being themselves without being a mama so and so, without being a Mr. The husband to so and so. You know, and it is enough.
You know, it's interesting that Karimi, you're saying that, because even as society, even for us, maybe we ask those questions without even knowing. You know, we ask our cousins. It actually has a really deeper, you know, impact on somebody, right? So first of all, do I ask those questions to somebody, and maybe I'm not supposed to ask, utaolewa lini? You know,
Betty, you realize that these people that are asking you utaolewa lini or utaolewa lini think or believe they are doing it out of love.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing.
And care. So they will ask you, you know, I'm concerned about your life. I've been praying for you.
Kwanza yo prayer, Pastor Su, unasema tunakuombea.
Hakuna mtu bado, you know. So
hakuna maombi naombangwa usiwaida.
Hakuna.
It's just a language of communication just to show you that they care and they are concerned. But actually they don't know.
They don't pray.
Immediately when you get into that relationship and it begins to become, you know, toxic, they start saying, you see, we knew she would make the wrong decision.
I know.
So the people who pressurized you to get into it, when things go haywire, you cannot turn to them.
You cannot turn to them.
Actually deal with you so ruthlessly.
Okay.
So I think I agree with what Karimi
With
said.
Karimi,
Oh, yes.
Just finish what you
So the best gift you can give to somebody that you love
Yes.
is to help them to become the best version of themselves without status in place.
Got you.
Who you are, you
Wow.
know, being a Mrs.,
I
being
love
a mama, so and so. The best gift you can give to somebody that is close to you is to help them become what God created them to be. There is more to life than just being married.
Yeah,
It's
I
true.
like that.
I love that.
Hapo ameongelesha watu wengi, and I think that is a point that really needs to be emphasized, especially, you know, with family. Like you said, the people who even don't go to their homes because kuna ile tuswali tuzona ma aunties and all that. All right, let me come to you, Koi. Have you ever been in a position whereby, you know, people close to you like make you feel like it's actually a sin, it's actually a crime that yani Koi vile uko mrembo hivi, umesoma uko na kazi na bado you're single? Have you experienced that yourself?
It's very funny because I just, when she was speaking, I remembered a story. Some time back, I think it was a few Christmases back. We had, you know, these family gatherings that you usually do for Christmas. You go to a certain auntie. And so we had one of those. And I remember my cousins, they are much younger than me. They are married with kids. And they show up in the house, because I was in the house, with a certain lady. And they say, oh, she's a counselor. We brought her to talk to you.
You now?
Yeah, to talk to me. Because you're not married and you don't have kids and we're much younger than you. You understand?
And
audacity. The audacity. And she sat down and she started asking me, what is the problem? What is your problem?
Are you kidding me?
Is it that you don't like men? You know, what is the problem?
Yeah.
Is it that you're too educated? Is it, what are you looking for in a man? And to tell you, Betty, I was so offended. It was so offensive because I had to stay there and answer questions. And I'm thinking, I am okay. You should be okay with the fact that I'm okay.
Yeah.
You should be okay with the fact that I am not highlighting it as a problem. And so it happens a lot. More than we'd like to think about it, it really happens a lot.
So what happened to that conversation? So you sat through it?
I sat through it.
By Pastor Suni mzuri, alikapo wakasomea.
Uko kwa wenyewe utafanya nini? You can't up and leave.
Uko kwa wenyewe. Uko kwenyu.
You're not, you know.
Na maybe ni ushago uko ndani or something. Oh my goodness.
So you will sit and you will listen and you will be offended, but you can't do anything about it because society has their own ways of projecting whatever they want on a person.
Right.
And I think that is what Lydia is talking about. People should be okay letting people to be okay.
Yes, yes.
Until somebody says, I have a problem, I need help, or you see maybe somebody is spiraling into something, then, you know, keep your distance. Let them handle it.
Where I know, I'm sure there are very many gentlemen there, even watching, they're like, hey, huyo anajielewa tuachane tu naye. Chris, let me ask you something, especially now being a man. You know, there's also the thing about women, we are always just waiting. Tunataka tu kutafutwa na mtu tupatikane. But then do you feel like sometimes there's also more pressure on you being a man that, you know, women are even so many. Wasichana ni wengi huku nje. Chris, shida ni nini?
Ni wengi, lakini sio wengi kwangu. Sababu mimi ni mmoja ama wawili. Tukienda sana. But there are many, but for me, I don't think there's the one, but I think there's that thing about waiting. To interact with somebody, have conversations, align your values, align your visions, and then uamue ni yeye. But to their point, there's this thing that bothers me. Why are people so invested in other people's relationships?
Yes, yes.
They're not coming in to invest into your relationship.
Yeah.
They are just, so that's
demanding.
Vile alisema,
they are demanding.
I agree with it a little bit because relationship is the only thing that people are so invested in.
Yes, yes.
To other people. You meet strangers, you're not married, you're not dating, it's a point of concern.
Yeah.
Hata kama ulilala njaa,
they
don't care about your poverty.
No one wants to know ulilala njaa, ama ulifungiwa nyumba.
Ama ulifungiwa nyumba. So I see this relationship thing, it's like a conversation starter here in Kenya.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, there's no roots to it.
So even people are so disrespectful to the boundaries. Yani tumekutana tu hivi, so ulipata mtu since the last time tuliongea.
Shida ni gani?
Shida ni gani?
Mashini ina nguvu. Atuelewi.
Usipeleke Pastor Su, ataweza hapa kutukutia.
Mentorship program. But yeah, so I think even some people in relationship are more lonely than people who are single. Yes.
Why do you say that?
There's loneliness in relationships. Hapa nje kuna a lot of loneliness.
Unasema in relationships, in marriages, kuna loneliness more than you guys.
Sana.
Wanakujanga
kutuona.
Yes, I agree.
Wait a minute. What are you saying?
What am I saying?
What are you saying?
That's very true.
What's your qualified statement? Unasema actually people in marriages and relationships are lonelier.
They are lonely.
Than single.
You know,
They are single in the marriage.
They are single married.
Yes, we are the data collectors because we are single. So wanakuja. Na tunawapokea, tunawaongelesha. Na mambo mengine mengi.
Yes.
Hey. Oh my goodness. But is that why you guys remain single? Because you just know wale wako married bado tu watakuja?
For me, no.
Okay.
But maybe my friends. Lakini for me, it's understanding that if people are there who rush to it and they are lonely, why should I rush to it? I should get my friend to be my partner.
Pastor, so what do you think about that? That is a very interesting angle.
It's the truth. Because one of the things that I've seen among the couples, there's no connection, emotional connection. You find that because of that, there's no communication in marriage. Because if there's no connection between me and Pastor Monene, then we will not have any communication.
Right.
What is happening, we have connected with the gadget, the phone. And so this phone has people, you know, when you talk to somebody who is not near you, there's that psyche, the dopamine is released. And you feel like this person is better than this person
one seated next to you.
And that's why you're finding right now, there's a lot of infidelity among the married people. You find the married women like me, we really have bent here. Why? I'm not connecting emotionally with this guy. And if we can't connect with my husband emotionally, then you find even sexually we will not connect. So I would want something new. So we have a lot of lonely, married women and men. That's very true.
That's crazy.
Because now of this gadget called the phone and internet that has come. But I tend to think still we need to have more seminars and more trainings actually to tell the couples on how to stay together. Because you see, one of the things that I'm finding is a challenge to so many people is because there's no much teaching. We are not well taught. And there's no school that we go prior before we get into relationship. Actually, you learn. It's on-job training. And so there's a lot of try and error method. And at the end of the day, someone feels like you're not treating me good and the other person. But the emotional stability comes when you are single. If you're not emotionally, mature and complete when you are single, the same weakness, you will carry it in marriage. And I'm a victim of that.
You're a victim?
Yes.
How come?
With anger.
Ile asira yako
unaongeleanga nayo. Mi kama si Pastor Monene, me I was unmarriageable. But this man, because mimi nikasirike.
When wakuvunja vitu.
Those days, ni wakuvunja, kuongea, yani I just want to be violent.
Kusimama juu ya meza.
Nasimama juu ya meza. Because I'm feeling you are not hearing me. You get that. Why? Because of coming from a background where we were not allowed to express ourselves. So we bottled up. So when you get someone whom you think you can answer back, you go on the roof. You're getting that. And so these people have an advantage that they can be able to talk, even get information from Google, ChatGPT, all these things. As we had nothing,
you had nothing.
There was no script. So whatever your mother, even our mothers would choose for us, you are the husband to marry and the wife to marry. You didn't have a say because there's nothing apart from your mom and your dad. And so you find because of that, the society feels if then you are not married according to the expectation, something is wrong with you.
All right.
Are you infertile?
Imagine.
The first thing that comes into their mind. Are you infertile? You get the point. And that's why you find even when these young people marry, by the first year, if I see my daughter is not pregnant, I call my son.
Imagine that.
What kind of a person did you
marry? The pressure is real.
Grad child, tafuta mtu mwingine. So many matters have broken so many marriages because of that interference. And I came to tell the people here, if you're getting married, keep your mother and your father away. Your covenant is not between your mother and your father, not even with your children. The covenant is between you and the man who is marrying you and the woman who is marrying you. Whatever you have agreed, start the foundation. But more importantly, at least put God as the center of your relationship. Because when things go haywire and you have God, there's a way, I don't know how I can explain it. There's a way God just works in your mind and you feel like you could still give your partner more time to change, but not change in sexual immorality, not change in physical abuse. No, those two things. The rest of the things, we can be able to bear them out.
All right, all right, thank you so much. I like where the discussion is going. And remember, if you're at home, you can actually call in or you can actually text us, and then I'll be reading some of the feedback when we come back. And you know what? When we come back, Lydia, I want you to talk to us. Could you develop? Could you discover? What is it all about so that people can understand in my singlehood, this is what I should be doing. All right, don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Say What. Hapa kwa studio tumekuwa tukiendelea, but I really appreciate the feedback. It's crazy. I'll try to read as many messages. Here, hello Betty, enjoying the show Single and Under Pressure. Pastor Sue is spewing wisdom. Kweli kweli. Swali singles huulizwa hujapata mtu utolewa lini umeshindwa kutafuta. I get it. I hear you. Victor here from Kiambu unasema wazazi wananipatia pressure sana. Marrying is a personal decision. I never told anyone to marry or not get married. Wanasema namnikome. Kwani John Omondi, unasema uko Manyala Butere, what did they do to you? Umesema wahukome. Okay, somebody here says, someone's love life is a sensitive topic that should never bring about unless brought up by the other person. Okay, moving on to another one. Following the show, big up Manya from Aragua. Well, thank you so much. There's this one here. Hi, Sue. I'm encouraged by your teaching with Betty. Mine is just a disturbing issue. I've been married for 26 years now. And every time my husband is around, he always shouts at me for any issue I raise. He shuns it off. Okay, I will hold that because it's a really long message. But Pastor Sue, I think itakupatia, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot there. Maybe you should reach out personally to her. Okay, here's, hi, hello, I'm Clement from Kajiado. I've been single for the last 5 years since tuachane na girlfriend, but for now nimekuwa na pressure ya kupata mtu. Wait, okay, let's say the messages are many. Following closely from Hindi in Lamu, Betty, kindly ask Pastor Sue, which is the rightful age to get married. Okay, thank you so much. We'll continue to highlight the feedback. But Karimi, let me ask you. So we're talking about, before you get into this marriage institution, fix yourself. Yes. If anybody is single and they're wondering, okay, I'd want to do that for myself, how is that like?
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. That's a very deep question,
right,
and a very important question for people that are actually looking forward to getting married, getting into a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
So, what does self-development or personal development look like? How it looks like, number one, is you need to understand who you are as a human being. You know, away from everything else. Who are you? And there's a book that I'm writing. It's called Who Are You, Woman? That is for a woman. And the reason why I'm writing that book is because I got married at the age of 24. And by the time I got married, to be honest, today, from where I stand, I feel that I would have made better decisions if I got married much later, maybe at around 30,
okay,
you know, 32 now.
Yes, yes, yes.
Why? One, my brain, especially the prefrontal cortex,
yeah,
that's the thinking brain, would have developed fully. And so it means that there are decisions and choices that I would have made better than the ones I made before, you know, within these 24 years and 30 years, right?
Is that with the decision to marry your partner or other decisions?
Actually, other decisions, other decisions. You know, sometimes, well, the person that you get married to, it is, you know, marriage is about hard work. And I believe that you can get a partner and work on the relationship as long as you work on the dynamics that regard that marriage. Yes. For example, communication, conflict resolution. As long as there is emotional connection, marriage will work with, you know, there is no like the only person. You can work with different people as long as the dynamics that regard the marriage relationship or the principles are followed. Okay. Okay. So now let's come to, before you get married, what do you need to look at? You need to understand yourself. One, understand who you are as a human being. In this way, check what's your personality. They are introverts, they are extroverts. I am an extrovert. And one of the things that I struggled with was I really struggled with my extrovertness. I would wonder, why can't I be quiet like everyone else? You know, I would really
talk to me about it.
You know, I would admire people that are quiet because they look composed, they look like they know what, you know, they are well put together. Yes. But now later on, after going through therapy, that's when I discovered, kumbe, my personality is a blessing. It's a good thing to be outgoing, you know, to be warm, to be friendly, to be compassionate. It's a good thing. So understand your personality.
Okay.
Number two, how does your self-esteem look like? What are your insecurities as a person? Are you okay with your self-image? Are you okay with the concept you have about yourself? Or are you concerned about what people think about you? Okay. Or are you concerned about the expectations people have around you? Right. Or have you gotten to a point whereby you validated yourself enough that even when your partner comes in and does not validate you, you are good enough?
Oh, wow.
You get it?
I like that.
Marriage is not a rescue scheme whereby you're looking for someone to come and give you validation, tell you that you're good enough, you know, build you up. No. You're supposed to get into a marriage being whole. You don't get into a marriage out of loneliness. You get into a marriage when you're whole. okay?
Where?
People miss out on marriage, on marriages because they get in expecting their partners to come in and fill voids that are within themselves that they did not feed before they started dating. Now, the other aspect of self-awareness that we need to understand is our emotional intelligence. All right? How do we handle our emotions? Whenever I am angry, when I am frustrated, how do I manage my emotions?
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
As Pastor Sue is saying, she was unmarriageable because she could not manage her emotions, her anger, all right? So there are many people that get into marriages struggling with regulating their emotions. And the reason why they're struggling with regulating their emotions is because they're coming in with lots of baggage, a lot of trauma, childhood trauma, you know? They're coming with insecurities and fears that they come and start projecting to their partners. And now when their partners tend to react, of course, they're not able to manage what comes with that, all right?
Yes, yes.
So someone needs to understand their emotions, how they handle frustrations and pain and hurt, because Betty, I can tell you, in this life, you'll be hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
If you're married and if you want to get married, your partner will hurt you and you will hurt them. How will you handle that case, that scenario? Next, be aware of your triggers. What are the things that trigger you, okay? There are people who are triggered by distance. All right. For example, if you are an anxiously attached person, when your partner is not always there with you, not validating you, not encouraging you, then the tendency to feel like the marriage is not working for you is able to be there, all right? There are also the avoidant attached people who prefer distance, who prefer independence. They don't want connection, okay? Understand that this is your attachment style and start working on that attachment style towards becoming securely attached, okay? Understand patterns. Also go to generations, all right? Your generational patterns. For example, there are families whereby separations and divorces happen over and over and over, okay? So how does your family look like? How does your lineage look like, okay? Are there things that you need to work on? Start praying about, start breaking in prayer, and also in terms of your behavior, you know. If you're coming from a family whereby people have died of drug use and substance use, maybe it's time for you to start thinking, how can I ensure that I am drug and substance approved before I get into a relationship? You realize that if you don't check some of these things, you get into a relationship when you're already broken, wounded, lost, and then you become a problem to the other party. Now, that is about you. What about your self-development in terms of your dreams? Your aspirations, all right? What do you want to be? Before I got married, I never thought I would be a therapist. I'd never even dreamt, all right?
Yes.
But to some extent, I knew, because I used to be a peer counselor in college. I used to, you know, have conversations with people. I could tell there was a gift that I had. But I believe, had I stayed longer, maybe around 27, 28, I am almost certain that I would have discovered my journey or my career in therapy. And one of the things I must say is the moment I changed my career, because I used to be a lecturer at some point, and then now joined my husband in business, then later on became a therapist. By that transition caused some shakeup in my marriage relationship. Had he married me when I was a therapist, I believe there would have been some form of stability compared to when now I got to have these changes in between. So personal development involves all these things and many other things that someone needs to be concerned and needs to focus on and build themselves up before they make the big decision to get married.
Wonderful.
Where I feel like we should pay you for that. I think we should send us an invoice. That was honestly very powerful. Koi, how do you feel about what she's saying? Are there instances in your life where you've seen yourself doing the things that she's saying, self-awareness, checking your self-esteem, the things that trigger you? And what have you learned from knowing who you are?
Right. Yes, they are there. I think for every person who takes time to get married, they will do what is called discovering themselves. You get to know who you are, because time will expose who you are. It will expose your trauma, it will expose your triggers, it will expose the weaknesses you have, it will expose your strengths. You get to get the time to do this and do that. It doesn't work until you find where you fit. And so I think what I can say one of the advantages of getting married a bit later is having to spend that much time with yourself and understanding who you are, and also understanding your journey and understanding that it might not look like the other person, but what are your goals? What are your expectations? What do you want out of life at the end of the day? And I think for me, that has been the best gift I've given myself, the idea of going through the journey and learning who I am and what I like and what I don't like. For example, if I was to get married tomorrow to any person, they will be feeling, they will be coming to adapt to who I am. They will not be coming to feel something that is missing because I have taken the time to get to that place. But you also understand, Betty, that it's not always the case with everybody. Not everybody is out there single because they are discovering themselves.
Absolutely.
You know, sometimes it's because you got into a relationship, you got hurt, and now you just the trauma is saying, I don't want to be in a relationship. And so, but I do believe that, like something Pastor Sue said, that if you're in that space, take it as an advantage and sit with yourself, learn yourself, so that when you do get married, when you do get into a serious relationship, you are able to be of value to somebody else, and you're able to receive value from someone else.
I love that.
Wonderful.
Whoa, tonight is
Powerful.
amazing,
It's
Pastor
wisdom.
Sue. Let me come to the gentleman, Mugambi. Are there things that you feel like you could have missed out on if, say, you were just in one relationship after another, just for you not to be, you know, a single guy? Are there things that you feel unge miss out, and now you've not missed out on them because you've given yourself that time?
I think, and I think I would have picked quite a number of baggages.
From people.
From people, hearts, and all those. So I think just because I've not mixed myself so much, then when the time is right for me, then I'm going in a bit fresh. As opposed to dating so many people, so by the time you're getting married, you're kind of comparing the last person with the last person. And
do you feel like that's a thing, like people picking up baggages and baggages and baggages of dating a one person?
You're having a normal conversation with somebody, and they get angry. Because you've spoken to them the same way some guy 5 years spoke to them.
You're triggering, unampeleka nyuma na kumbuka.
Anasema ukiniambia hivi nasikianga hivi. Hiyo ilitoka wapi? Lazima kuna jamaa
alifanya hivyo,
sasa mimi I'm innocent on my corner. But then, so I think what she said, don't overdate. Even though we are looking for people in our 20s, late 20s and early 30s, take your time. Even the people you're allowing into your space, just take your time.
So that's what you practice every, like, you know, like on a daily?
That's my daily. So kuna vitu about myself, sijui, because I've not been in a relationship. So there are some things
have you ever been in a relationship?
No, I've not.
Hata kuna trials?
Trial.
Like you've never dated?
Tulifanya mock high school. They were not good.
Wait, but, you've never dated?
I've never dated. But if you have somebody to send my way to discover.
Well, I'm sure there are a lot of single ladies watching. I don't know in the studio, maybe there's one.
Kamera yangu ni gani?
Kamera yako ni wanataka kuongelesha.
Wale wako
Ongelesha
nyumbani.
basi.
Wale wako nyumbani, wale ambao wananitazama. If you want to help me discover myself, I am here, and I'm sure Better here will give you my number.
Yes.
Yeah, there are some things I don't understand about myself because I've been single too long.
It's too long.
It's too long.
Do you mind me asking how old you are?
36.
Wait.
Yes.
36 and you've never been in a relationship?
Yes.
Wait.
Yes. Na kama kuna mtu nimedate huko nje apige simu.
Unajua nita take long. Before number yao ingi ita take long ndo maana unasema hivyo. Wait, so you have never ever experienced dating life in your life? When are you planning to start, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't have a plan. I think if it happens, it happens.
So all this while have you been to dates like with girls, with women, and you've seen there's nothing for you yet, ama you've never experienced even going on a date?
I've been set up a couple of times, but then waste of time. Because if you don't do it from within, if it's not from within, then you just show up, have a nice meal, you know, discuss things on a surface level. Because for you, you're not ready and you're not looking for a relationship at that time. So even the conversations you're having, they are not leading anywhere. It's just making conversations, 2 hours, lunch date, and then you just go your way. But I know that, you know...
What are you saying? What are you thinking about? Should he start maybe trying. Because it's like saying the beautiful ones are not yet born and they're not around kabisa.
Wow.
Yes, if, not to mention names, but if you look at the former president, he married at 58 and he married an 18-year-old. So I think...
Former president?
The first president and Uhuru. So yeah, so I mean, there's still time for me.
Where, Pastor Sue, what do you think? Should he go for a take at some, some dates?
He's okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
He's okay.
I'm
He's okay.
Karimi, do you think he's okay?
Pastor amesema niko sawa.
No, ako sawa, because one of the things we need to do is to respect people's opinion.
Absolutely.
And choices.
think it's shocking.
I just want to say that sometimes men feel pressured, especially with this time that we are living.
Yeah.
You find that a man feels that if he is not stable financially, hana gari, hana nyumba, it's like no woman will actually accept him, because most of the girls are coming for what you have, not who you are.
Yes.
And so that is giving a lot of pressure to our men, and I feel like they need to do something to be financially stable for them to get a wife who can be able to give them respect and honor that they deserve.
Right.
I think seasons have changed, but I want to say that I think the more someone stays, as Lydia had said, the more you are able to make better decisions.
Okay.
Remember, one of the things I would encourage you, Mugambi, just relate and socialize without sex. In the middle of socializing and mingling.
But how?
Let us not discuss theory. We are practical here.
The more now you mingle with the girls, out of the many that you will socialize without going to sex, you will feel a note of victory.
That's the challenges. That's where the disconnect is.
You will feel a note of victory.
When you mingle,
Yeah.
mostly it leads there.
Yeah.
So wait, you're saying, you're telling Pastor Sue that is the problem, that you
Yeah.
you
It's
have
a
to
bit
have
theoretical,
It's-
because if you look at statistics out here, and I think you mentioned 2 weeks nowadays, is even too long.
Yes.
If you socialize and mingle,
Yes.
I think it leads there
It's the
faster than...
expectation.
It's the expectation that it has to be.
So if you don't want to engage in that thing, then you'd rather keep off. Because if you do, I mean, the
You
desires
have
are
battles.
there.
That's very true.
Yes,
And so that's why boundaries are very important.
Yes.
And don't allow yourself to meet in a place where you can have sex. But if you are meeting in an open place, you have no challenge. Because the more you socialize and mingle with different people, the more you are also able to understand the psychology of women and men. You get the point. I found this to some men, not all men, men or women who never had chance to mingle and relate and socialize just without sexual ties. When they get married, you find they want to go back to do the things. It's like a milestone they jumped. I'm married, but you find all the people who are my friends are single girls. Why? I got out of school and immediately got married. You're getting? I came out from Form 4 and Monene married me. So then I didn't have time to mingle, relate with other boys. Unakuta, my people, the people that I relate with are young people. It's a sign that there's a milestone I jumped. And that's why when you are single, mingle with who is who, the rich, the poor, the educated, uneducated. Out of those people, God will direct you to one of them. Because you can't marry somebody you don't know. You're getting that. But also the social media is also changing tides. Because now you can also meet on social media. Na mpendane na tumeona watu wameoana and marriages have stood. But I agree with him because the more you relate with many people without sexual ties, I think you become more wiser. The only challenge with we girls, when you date us and you are not saying anything, we now begin to provoke you. And ask you, Kwani, when are you taking me to your house? Because I'm feeling like I need to test you. But a wise man needs to lay the vision that he has. Like I remember when we met with Pastor Monene, the first thing he told me, I don't want to sleep with you because you are my wife. I want to take care of you. Until that day.
That's a gentleman. Saizi kupata hiyo Pastor Sue.
You know, that was the first statement.
Because
he told you, love protects. When you love someone, when values, you know, he told me when you love someone, you protect them from every harm. But if I want to destroy you, give you children and go, that means I'm being driven by lust. And so I found him very unique. You get the point. And at the end of the day, he married me. But the other guys who came, the first thing mkikutana ni toa. Me, I would dismiss them. Because I would tell.
Sasa hao ndio wamejaa sasa sasa
Na ndio wamejaa sasa. So girls have to be very wise. Because most of the times girls think Girls think that if you have sex with someone is a sign of love. No. You don't need to go to that length.
Yes,
I think it's important to keep your emotions, because as he's saying, when you keep getting broken, so you will end up in marriage when you are too broken, such that you can only have a broken marriage.
Yes.
So you need to take care of yourself when you are single with anything that you know can contaminate your mind, your spirit, and your physical body. Just think the girls that get in, maybe they had aborted, removed their uterus, and this man does not know. Then munatafuta mtoto, only to discover there is no uterus.
Happens.
But you see, this it's something that you did the last thing first.
Yes.
So all singlehood has its own advantage if you have the right company, because you need to keep the right company, and it can also have the other negative side effect where now you get into porn, you get into masturbation sites, so you start to do unanyonga, you get the, so when you kinyonga, you have no desire for the opposite sex, because after all unajimalizia na hakuna pesa inapotea. You're getting that. Yes, hakuna fare, hakuna dinner. You get the point. So you need to look all around and see, so that you don't get into these perversions. So being single, you need also personal self-discipline, such that you know what you are watching, what you are listening, who are your friends, where do you go. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but you need to be sober. And the good thing, you have the advantage of energy and a mind to learn. So that's the advantage of being single.
I like that.
Yes,
we're about to wind up. Actually, we're pressed for time. You want to say something very quickly before I go to the ladies?
Yes. So I think growing up in the millennial area, I think the church, because we're talking about the pressure.
Yes.
I think the church put a lot of pressure in you finding the one.
Yes.
Because they used to say, you know, go pray about it. God will give you a sign. But the reality is there's no one. No one is the one for anyone. You can make it work with anyone as long as you are aligned. So that pressure, I think this next generation, if I'm to advise somebody, don't be walking in town thinking I'll meet the one. Anybody around you. Yes, anyone around you can be the one.
Can be the one.
Yes.
So I think the church there did a thing.
It is true.
With
I
the
agree.
millennials.
Okay.
That's very true.
I like that. Maybe we can stand up as we wind up. So let's come to Lydia. Talk to us about, the camera is here. Talk to us about, just your closing remarks, and also to the single people who really, really want. I know that's another topic. Maybe we'll have it next week. But for now, the people now who really want, but they're still single, not getting that person. What is maybe something brief? To deal now next week.
All right. Okay, thank you so much for that. For the people that are single, and they really, really want to be in relationships, and maybe the person they've not found that person that they can actually do life with, I would really encourage that focus or reframe your mind towards self and focus on building yourself as you wait for this other person. And yes, as Pastor Susan has said, mingle with people, meet as many people as possible, but do not settle for less. Because if you settle for less, I can tell you, you'll pay for it dearly.
Oh, there you go. So mingle, and there's all youth camps, and there's all a church. Mwende uko mali, si mali mbaya mbaya unajua.
Yes.
Zile places power. Mingle and get to know people. So anything you want to say as you wind up?
I think what I would say is, Pastor Sue was saying that, date, but don't do sex. But to be very honest, it's very hard to do so right now. So what I would say first of all, the mind needs to be right. And the only place the mind can be right is in God. You need to settle your spirituality, because it will form your values, it will form your boundaries, it will inform your expectations. If you are centered spiritually, everything else will align. You will find your purpose, you will find a person who can fuel that purpose, and also you will find that these are my non-negotiables, and you'll be able to stay in the path.
I love that.
Okay.
Pastor, leo wisdom imemwagika.
I tell you, I'm so edified.
City iko wapi
I
sasa?
want to say that being single is a gift that God has given you, and you might never recover it if you misuse it. I want to let the young people know that this singlehood is a season where you can become you know, the best you can. Discover yourself. Be the best you are. Go to outing. Go everywhere you have always wanted to be. Read books. Do any course you want to do, because you are not accountable to anyone. You're only accountable to yourself. When you get married and come on this other side, you must be accountable to somebody. So you find there are limitations. You have children. You have all these people. And in-laws also come in. Please, when you are single, enjoy yourself, such that even when you get into marriage, you are so complete. You have such a great energy to bring to this institution, and this institution must work.
Absolutely.
I want to say this. We don't finish the show without treating men and women. Could you be there and you're struggling with masturbation? Probably you have premature ejaculation, you have erectile dysfunction, you have penis atrophy. We call it when the joy gun is small because of what you went through. Or you have low self-esteem, you have shame, you have guilt because of masturbation. Pastor Sue is the person to see. If you're there, you are diabetic, you have hypertension, you have arthritis, any condition that is chronic, Pastor Sue is able to reverse it by God's grace. We have a facility in Kasarani at Seasons Stage. The first right turn, you're going to see Clay City Medical Center that has been there for the last 25 years. Come and we will treat you, and we will handle it as private and confidential, and no one will ever know. If you have a challenge with infertility, probably a man, you know, all these conditions that we tell you, you can never have a child. A woman, please, my number 0712 265 746 0712 265 746. That is my personal number. If you want to invite me for anything, if you want to call me counseling, that's the number to call. And together we make sure that Say What remains the best show in East and Central Africa.
Amen.
Because we are dealing with real issues with real people.
I love that.
Wow.
Thank you. So what more can I say? Thank you guys for watching. It's been fantastic. Maybe next week we can continue with the same one and now deal with the guys who really want. Time.
Yes.
All right. So thank you so much, guys. Thank you for watching. iRevives is next. Put on your dancing shoes. Hapa kwa studio karibu sasa inawaka moto service. Tumeanzisha moto sasa, ile ingine sana inakuja. Don't go away, stay with us.